What statement do you think was made by the Cowboys with their performance yesterday?
Nothing. Not to me. I don't care what they did against the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you watch the Jacksonville Jaguars over the last several weeks, you can see demoralization kicking in because the defense knows they have to rely upon itself to win a football game. Now, yesterday, that may not have been the case. Everything nosedive. We understand that because we see the final score of 40-7, and we say to ourselves, excuse me, you were in the AFC Championship game last year. Where's your pride? Where's your dignity? You've been recognized one of the elite defenses. You have one of the more loquacious players in the game in Jalen Ramsey, who's an all-pro that's opened this season talking a lot of smack about a lot of folks. So why is it that you have this problem? Well, all you have to do is look at the beginning of the game. First two series, they were 3 and out. Another thing, I think they went like seven downs, and the next thing you know, they were out as well. You get to a point when you're an elite, and you can speak to this, Coach, because you would know this a hell of a lot better than me. Although it is inexcusable, it's also plausible that what I'm about to say happens. You go into a particular Sunday, you might not have it. But really what kicks in is that you're looking at the other side of the ball and they're like, they got nothing for us. Everything is on us. They can't stop the hemorrhaging. We got to be on our A game, and today we just might not have it. That's what I saw watching that game yesterday from start to finish.
Rex, how about that? A defense, yeah.
Well, I mean, look, I was on a Super Bowl winning team that went 5 straight weeks without scoring an offensive touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We never let go of the rope. And that's the difference. This team's not an elite defense. An elite defense steps up and say, you know what? We're going to stop them anyway. But I don't see that from Jacksonville. Personnel-wise, they do. But collectively, they're not playing to that kind of championship caliber.
He's talking about the 2000 Ravens. And so, Jalen, let's turn to you. So now you got this defense looking over there, and the quarterback is throwing picks, and the offense can't do anything. And what does that do to some of that team morale?
I'm with Coach, and I disagree with my brother Stephen A. Smith because we put the Jacksonville Jaguars in the category of all-time great defenses. 85 Bears, Rex's Ravens, Tampa Bay when they won it with Brad Johnson as their quarterback. But this team hasn't elevated to that. They shouldn't be demoralized because that's how this team is built, to be a ball-control team, to have a pedestrian offense. They don't have a notable wide receiver. They don't have a notable tight end, and they were playing without Leonard Fournette. The defense should know we need to be more stout because of that, not let go of the rope.
I'd like to respond to that. First of all, I don't know what you're disagreeing about because I'm not disagreeing with any of your points. I'm simply saying what I saw. And I never said that the Jacksonville Jaguars were an elite defense to the level you described or you just described.
I agree with you said that they were demoralized based on the offense.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying to you that they were supposed to be elevating to this point. We wanted to see it. To be clear, I think this is a more accurate depiction of the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. They're front runners. When things are going great, they're elite. When things are collapsing, they tend to fold. And so as a result of that, if you look at Blake Bortles, that's one of the reasons I didn't even have them going back to the AFC Championship game this year. I said Blake Bortles, Blake Bortles, Blake Bortles. Why? Because he's one of those rare commodities, and not to use the word commodity, but he's one of those rare quarterbacks that has the ability to really make things worse because he doesn't just affect the offense, he affects the defense's willingness to play. Now, it shouldn't be that way, but he has that effect on them.
Let me throw this out. Let me throw this to the table. The trade deadline is 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Matt Hasselbeck brought up they should trade for Eli. This morning, Booger McFarland brought up they should trade for Teddy Bridgewater. Should they make a deal for a quarterback right now?
Without question. Without question. And the reason why is because you want someone. Blake Bortles is not just some pedestrian quarterback who's a game manager. He's a guy that will lose games for you because he demoralizes the other side of the ball. Now, that shouldn't be that way. But he has that kind of effect that causes collateral damage. You want at least a quarterback that's not going to do that.
Is it realistic? Can you bring in a quarterback from outside your system week 7 or whatever it is?
I think it is realistic because another name, I'll throw Sam Bradford out there. I mean, that could be a possibility as well.
Sure.
But, yeah,
I don't
but I get it, though. I get what you guys are saying that, look, Bortles, we've seen this, and it's played out over and over. Last year, hey, that was the first time they won any playoff games with Blake Bortles at quarterback. So, you know, they thought, hey, he's coming this way. No, he's not.
Coach,
he's still
Coach,
Blake
am I right
Bortles.
in saying this? If you look at Jacksonville's offense, I think they led the league in terms of running the football, in terms of carries that they distributed because of Leonard Fournette last year. This year he's down. T.J. Yeldon's been in there, what have you. But clearly, when it comes to their offense, it's predicated on their running game. I think that makes it easier to bring a quarterback into the mix because you're not relying on a quarterback but so much.
All right, I want to change the subject here because I've got Stephen A., who is a noted Steelers fan, and I have Jalen, who through most of this year has basically functioned as Le'Veon Bell's agent. So if you watch this show, no one has stood up for Le'Veon Bell more than Jeff. So here we go, moment of truth. Here's their bye. Shefty just told us a few minutes ago they haven't even heard from him. What's Le'Veon going to do now?
He's going to split carries with Connor whenever he comes back, especially after a game like yesterday when he goes over 100 yards, he has 2 touchdowns, and the offensive line is now taking pride in making Connor look good. Ben Roethlisberger now understands that the team has found a rhythm, and here's the most important point. This is Le'Veon Bell's last year with the team. So they're not going to be in the business of necessarily trying to elevate his status, knowing that they're going to eventually move on without him.
Well, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I just think the most pivotal point comes with a question mark. What Le'Veon Bell are we going to get? And that's what I asked that question only because you're not communicating with anybody. Remember, when he said he was coming back, he said that to Jeremy Fowler. The Steelers as an organization didn't necessarily know. And so what you have is a situation where there's an absence of communication. We heard what they felt about him. We see the way James Conner is performing. They seem to be catching a rhythm, and they're starting to flow now. And obviously, you don't want to disrupt flow. When Le'Veon comes back, I'm in no way trying to imply that he's not going to play hard, work hard, or want to win. But clearly his priority is going to be staying healthy so he can maximize his potential as a free agent in the offseason of 2019. If that is your priority, not that he's not going to give effort, but clearly winning may not necessarily be that way in terms of going all out